Welcome back to the Torque Test channel. This is the Freefly Wave, a high-speed camera capable of shooting at speeds close to 10,000 frames per second for super sweet shots like this. It'll even shoot 4K at over 400 frames per second and 2K around 1500. Though it does carry a price tag, around $10,000 to $12,000 for the 2TB version we bought a few weeks ago. We picked this up for taking a closer and significantly slowed down look at tools to better understand them. Like this new Metabo HPT triple hammer bolt model that impacts 4,100 times per second, their latest model in the fastest hitting impact driver on the market, which also happens to be IP water resistance rated to boot, which makes for some extra fun. Their last model of this tool, we found some unexplained, irregularities with how it does and sort of doesn't work. So this will give us a 5 times more capable look at the new one. Now, do you need a camera like this to test and review power tools? No, you don't. But you sort of get what you put back into channels in this YouTube world, I feel. And our viewers, you guys are phenomenal, which allows for testing equipment such as this just by you watching. And I think some of the things we'll get to see together are not only impressive and awesome, but also offer a chance to learn a lot more about these tools than you might expect. And really, we bought this setup initially to film how tools that are trending on TikTok work, which is an even dumber idea. So if nothing else, let's just sort of have some fun. This is the new Metabo HPT WH36DC triple hammer bolt impact driver that we kept waiting for to be available bare, but still can only be purchased as a kit for $299. And boy, what a case it comes in. I feel HPT might only have one case in their portfolio, then sort of need to fit everything into it. Also, I feel the latest to most cutting edge models brands come out with are most attractive to their current customers, so making you guys who already have their 36-volt batteries and chargers pony up for a whole kit instead of just a bare tool, it's kind of not ideal, but moving on. This new model promises a few things. One is an increased torque output from 1,859 inch-pounds to 1,903. Two is what I feel to be more simplified buttons and modes, although still a bit confusing. And three is this model is named the Triple Hammer Bolt for its capability and modes suited for working with bolts. Well, it's in the perfect place then, because that's sort of what we do. The previous version of this tool we tested, we noticed some weird things going on. The tool would ramp up, then sort of fall flat on its face, dropping off in power and not reaching its torque claims as bolts got tighter. We then used our first high-speed camera, which tops out at around 1500 FPS before the resolution gets quite poor, and we actually learned a lot. This is how the unique triple hammer design works. Unlike nearly all impact drivers using 2 hammers, this 3-pronged version design hits every 120 degrees instead of 180, but we found when under full beans on something not moving, the tri-hammer would skip over those anvil dogs and rather haphazardly as well. Now, come to find out after showing this to you guys, while the US Metabo HPT manual says nothing of the sort, the Japanese arm of the company, Hikoki, their manual explains how the tool is supposed to do this, skipping over a hammer to gain some additional rotational inertia, speed, momentum, something like that, which would make sense. Hammer speed is the name of the game, as we find making our own impact creations, except it seemed to be causing a reduction in power, not an increase that would have been advertised. And that seems to be due to how those hammers don't exactly glide over and skip the next hammer. They hit up against the top of the next one and scrape past it, wasting energy that should have been converted into sudden kinetic energy with a single hammer blow on the skipped over and next dog. Well, enough about the old model. Let's see how the new one does. This is the new 36-volt triple hammer bolt in our 5-second working torque test versus the old model and a Milwaukee Gen 3 rated for similar, albeit slightly more torque. "94 foot-pounds, so far more than the last 36-volt model, but also not quite keeping up with the Milwaukee rated for 7 to 8 foot-pounds more. And we tried all the modes too, including the bolt mode, but those all resulted in less torque than this top mode we were using here. We do this on most tools just in case there's sort of like a hidden, surprisingly powerful setting, which has happened a couple times in the past. Though in this one, it makes some sense reading the manual's description of the different settings. Let's move on to reverse torque in our 10-second max torque test, up against the usual suspects. $138? So what's going on here? The new model is less powerful than the old. Well, I wouldn't take too much stock in this median result. It behaves wildly inconsistent. Everything from 165 to 110 foot-pounds is what we saw in this test. Warm, cold, hot doesn't seem to matter on this tool. And gone from Hikoki and Metabo HPT's manual on this version is the hitting 1.5 times per rotation explanation of skipping over dogs with the hammer, at least from what we could find. So in steps the high-speed camera we bought to take a closer look inside of this tool and see how it's operating when being tasked with large bolts and stuck stuff. Inside this tool is an even more compact and cramped hammer assembly pressed together tight, so going to take our favorite method of a blind surgeon and hack this thing apart and create a nice viewing window for us. We're going to leave the hammer and anvil dogs unpainted on this one since some of you felt that could influence its behavior, and now we have some more sensitive high resolution equipment to work with anyways. This camera doesn't have sound for obvious reasons, it's a high-speed camera, but here's what it looks like when we're filming in real time. She's a fast hitter for sure. Here's around 1800 frames per second. The amount of debris alone that's kicking out of this thing is pretty amazing, but right away, even at this frame rate, you can see what's going on with this tool. It hits the next wing on the anvil, which is called a dog. Sometimes it might even hit that next wing 2-3 times in a row, but just as often it will try to skip that dog. I say try because in the process it does everything from skim and slide over it to whack it on the top, causing this collet to jump forward, a result of forward hammer blows and not a force impact drivers normally see on a fastener. And these weird forces we've seen do weird things before. So Tools and Stuff, who has had this version for near a full year before we did in New Zealand, this is what he has to say.
So this thing, great for small screws, I find. I like the last Hikoki as well. Where is it? I like this one with small screws. When it comes to bigger stuff, I never use it because I have other tools that are far better at whacking in large screws like the Milwaukee you saw. The results with both of these tools are always a little bit up and down all over the place. Sometimes they're not consistent, let's say. The triple hammer thing seems to create issues. Sometimes it changes sounds, and it sort of changes speeds. The triple hammer is changing, doing something. I don't know what's going on in there, but it's clicking and clacking in a different way.
Now that change in hammering you can hear in person, which we did during our torque tests. And that's it, skipping, then not skipping, and then whacking the top side of the next hammer dog in sort of a mixed bag of impacting that you're seeing here now with 4,400 frames per second. From frame counting the difference between when it successfully skips a dog and when it taps the top of the next one, we see anywhere from a 10% to a 25% reduction in rotational hammer speed as a result of that. Which last time we theorized there might be a speed reduction, but now with clips like this, at around 9,000 frames per second, we can roughly calculate that difference. It of course results in a much lower resolution when shot like this, and we need around 15 to 20,000 lumens of lighting on this in the shop to see anything. Look how the behavior on this thing totally changes once the fastener is getting loose. The dog's now traveling with some movement changes the entire pattern that the hammers operate in. Now this is by no means a terrible impact driver though. Look at its behavior on a bolt that's not quite stupid tight yet. This is around 6,000 frames per second. When it works, it just works beautifully. Making a hammer design that hammers 33% more often than other drivers can't be easy. It may look like the tool's not making any progress here, but that's just a result of the frame rate. Keep in mind watching 10 seconds of this totals to about 1/20th of a second in real life impacting. Alright, on to some other cool things that we noticed just while editing footage from this shoot. At lower hammering speed just starting to work, this skipping phenomenon can still happen on tight stuff, but another thing happening here is these strings of grease the hammers sort of take with them each blow. It's really interesting to think anything can really stick at this speed. At higher hammer speeds and faster frame rates, you can see this grease that was previously being picked up by the hammer start to instead become smoke. Here's shot even faster and you can see it more clearly. The impacting is at such a speed that it creates a concentrated area of sudden heat, enough so that it vaporizes the petroleum-based grease on contact and turns that into smoke. Our friend at Tools and Stuff noticed this grease leaking out the front of his when testing it for quite some time.
The oil spewing out.
This hammer case is pretty well sealed up, and the hammers are vaporizing grease. That's probably creating a positive pressure in the hammer housing, which, like excess crankcase pressure in an engine, is going to vent with it some oil. Now, lastly, this tool having an IP water resistance rating, I wouldn't say it justifies us dunking this in water in slow-mo. It's not an underwater impact driver, but I will say it caused us to at least consider it. I mean, just look at this. In 4K over 400 frames per second, it's sort of awesome. This is the type of stuff we get giddy over. We test a lot of tools, so seeing something new in this category of tools is always a treat. This is at 1500 frames per second, driving in a small lag. But this next view, shot a bit slower, is even clearer. Watch as it transitions from just driving, spinning around, to impact driving with more resistance from that fastener. Boom. It produces cavitation with each blow, and a resulting shock wave from that cavitation, like a submarine torpedo scaled way down. It's cool to see the delay from the cavitation hammer blow to the bit turning the screw as well. And here, once it's quite tight, you can see that forward force impacting that the tool causes, which is not all that insignificant when seeing it here. Most impact drivers don't really do this. This clip shows just how much material has to be removed spinning a lag screw in before it actually bites and starts working its way into the piece, if you don't pre-drill, I guess. And also how the entire body of water seemingly reacts all at once to each of these impact shock waves, like jello or something, just from hammer hits. Then this is probably our best shot of the action. The hammers enter the water at just the right time to not already be full of water, but also impact under the waterline. This is around twice the frame rate as our first clip. Seeing the trajectory of the rising bubbles shift from each hammer blow is pretty cool. And the tool still works after all this. The batteries sort of needed a vacation in the sun before they would work again. We went through two this way, so keep in mind that while the tool might be IP rated, the batteries not necessarily. Ultimately, in forward, this tool only made as much as 110 foot-pounds for us in its last testing series, which means on this rig, the triple hammer impact driver for bolts did less overall than the last model. Many of our viewers felt that this new bolt model would solve the phenomenon we saw last time testing on bolts, but if anything, making the new one smaller and shorter seems to have asked even more of that hammer every 360 degrees, and it appears to be even more erratic than the last one. Again, does this make it a terrible impact driver? Probably not, but it depends on your needs. Large lags like 1/2 inch and bolts that we see, maybe not the best choice compared to others, but tons and tons of screws that you need to sink quickly, probably a winner with this impacting rate. I hope you'll indulge us taking liberties with excessive slow-mo at times. We find this stuff fascinating, and tools really is a subject matter that I find seldom receives attention from people who do have this type of equipment. So I'm glad that we can, on occasion, be that source in the future. If you want to see more, click subscribe. We make episodes at least every Friday. Thanks for watching.